Make sure you unmute your stuff, Matt. That's the first thing. That's as everybody can see, we have somebody with us. It's not Jack. So
Matt, special guest in the house.
Matt, was Liam before you started watching SU? I know I make this joke with you, but
no. So we got Liam Banks on the pod this week. So thanks, Liam, for joining us.
Great to be here, guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So attackman number 3, 2-time All-American from the late 90s, early 2000s. I got a whole bunch of stuff I'm going to read off, Liam. I got all your credits here. 165 career points, specifically 6-goal game versus Princeton in the 2000 national championship game, which is still an SU record. 6-year MLL career with New Jersey, San Francisco, and Chicago. 124 points there. And coached the Atlanta Blaze, and then also founded LB3 Lacrosse, which found out now you've sold out of the club game down the Atlanta area. And then also he's a dad to Ryan on the women's team, senior attack number 3, and then Liam Banks Jr., number 33, freshman on the men's team. So thanks again, Liam, for joining us. We really appreciate it. What's up? How's everything going?
Everything's great. I mean, I think that there's incredible energy going into this week. Just a massive week going to be up in the Carrier Dome. For my family, a crazy week, senior day for my daughter. Last time, maybe outside of playoffs, kind of putting on that jersey in the Carrier Dome. Virginia's coming in. Coach D's going up in the Ring of Honor. Alumni are going to be in town. So I'm pretty fired up for this week, and I hope you guys are as well.
Yeah, for sure. So any guests that we've had on, and we don't get a ton of them on, but first thing I like to ask is, how did you get introduced to lacrosse? When did you start playing? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I was young. My father learned about the game of lacrosse when he was at the University of Virginia. He looked over and they were playing club lacrosse at Clockner Field. And, when he decided to settle in New York, he was looking for a community that, had two things, a good fellowship, a Unitarian fellowship, and that was his belief system, and then a good lacrosse program.
Mm-hmm.
And two of the places on Long Island that had that were Garden City and Setauket, New York, and Three Village Lacrosse. So, growing up, my father ran the youth lacrosse program of Three Village Lacrosse. He brought everything in-house. So, my baptism into lacrosse was, I'm one of 8 kids. I got 5 older brothers. So I would go to all their games. I would be the ball boy. If mom was picking up the kids at other kids at school, I was hitting the wall and waiting for the battle wagon to come. So, lacrosse was ingrained into our family, and we early on, found community in that. And, since then I've just been addicted to the game. So, Setauket, New York, Three Village Lacrosse, Ward Melville High School,
awesome.
Lacrosse is king. So that's how I started.
Nice. Because you were the younger brother, did you end up having to be in goal in the backyard a lot?
Yeah, I mean, I played goal, and I didn't care as long as they would let me play. I was in, and
as long as you were included.
Yeah, and it was a different place, lacrosse stores or online and places to get stuff. So my dad, you give out equipment and then get it back. So a lot of that stuff lived in our house. So we had those extra goalie sticks around, and we were able to do that. But funny story about playing, goalie. There's another guy I grew up with. His name's Derek Kenny, and Derek's one of the best athletes I've ever seen. But we were on the same team, and his father was a coach at Stony Brook High School, and he would make us play goalie for a half. So if Derek and I played goalie in a game and we had a shutout, we would get pizza, right? And again, big families, money's tight. You get your own Domino's pizza, you get to eat in front of everybody else. That's a big deal. So, fast forward to 1999, I was outside of the goal and in the national championship on attack, and the guy in the goal was Derek Kenny for Virginia. So, yes, I did play goalie, but Derek's the one who had to stay with it. And unfortunately, he got the better of us that day. But that's my little goalie story from when I was young.
Nice. So when you were on campus to be recruited, who was your host? And then were there other schools you were looking at as part of your recruiting process when you were look into where you're?
Yeah, I mean, it's in 1998, completely different time in recruiting, right? No club lacrosse going on. Coaches would actually come see you, play. So, when I was in high school, I think I was focused more on lacrosse than I was on academics. So, of interest early. I mean, I got the letters at home: North Carolina, Virginia, Hopkins, Maryland, all of them, and they all started going one by the wayside. Who's a different guy? Hey, this isn't going to work out. Maybe you should go to prep school for a year. And I never saw that in myself. And it was early spring, and I think we were playing Huntington High School, and I looked over in the stands, and there was John Desco and Roy Simmons Jr. And they were there to watch me play, and I didn't know that they were there to watch me play. So that game, I went 1-7, and had a good game. And then they came back to watch me play again, and it was a playoff game, and I wound up going 7-1, the opposite of whatever I did.
Yeah.
And a couple of days later, they had called me and said that they wanted me to come up. So I had never been on campus. I'd never been on a trip. The last time I was on campus was for the Final Four in the early 90s. But I saw it as an opportunity, and it brought me back to the memories of John Zilberti and Gary Gate and Matt Palum and the incredible years of, that was part of my introduction to lacrosse, right? My dad saved up money. We went down to College Park, and, all of us, there was like 10 of us in Howard Johnson's room. And, then we go to Yes clinics and do all those different things. So I knew the tradition, but, when I was younger, I wanted to go to Hopkins. I was a ball boy at Hopkins. My brother was a goalie at Hopkins. That's where I thought I was going to be. And thank God I was wrong, because, looking back at it, it would have been the worst place for me, for a fit. And there's no place like Syracuse. So I was super blessed that Coach Desco and Coach Simmons at the time, because there was a transition, took a shot on me. And ultimately, I think that, the results should speak for themselves.
Sure. Do you, I think I know what the answer is, but what would be your favorite memory from your time playing at SU?
All right. Favorite memory from time playing at SU. A lot of, I would say the easy one is to say, scoring 6 goals in a national championship, right? For the special part of that, it wasn't about me, to be honest with you. It was about guys like Ryan Powell, who, he could have been on a sandwich team, never won a national championship, right? The seniors that were on those teams were really special. And it was about my dad, really being able to look up in the stands, and a lot of people doubted me, whether it was my size or speed or different things. I'm not the biggest, strongest, fastest guy, but I do know how to play lacrosse. My dad always knew that. And I think it was very validating for him, that moment on the big stage, to see me perform the way that he knew I could perform. But, I would say one of my favorite memories was Easter 2000, and we call it the Easter Massacre, when we went to Princeton, and I think we beat them 16 or 18-4. I mean, it was a complete domination. Chris Cersei, running off the field, talking smack because, he won every single face-off. Sammy Bassett, plus that had like 15 ground balls. And that was like perfection. And that game really kind of taught us how good we actually were, and that allowed us to win at the end of the year. So, looking back at those things, I think the national championship game was obviously one of the better moments of my life, but one of my favorite moments was when we came together that Easter and beat Princeton and really proved to ourselves how good we were.
I love that, the Easter Massacre. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
Such a good name for it.
It was a wonderful, wonderful time. My grandmother was there, having a little of the Irish with Coach Simmons. I mean, just a special moment.
I know there's lots of fun stories involving Desco and Simmons and that kind of stuff. Do you have any fun stories you can share with us that you can actually share there, wouldn't get anybody in trouble or anything like that?
I mean, everybody's retired at this point, right?
Yeah.
So, listen, I as you look back at things, you can just appreciate, moments and individuals and what they were actually, trying to do in the moment. And, I look back and Coach Desco and I have a wonderful relationship right now. And I just say, I'm sorry, for the things that I put you through, the times that I was there. But, there was certainly one time when I wasn't going to class very often. And, Coach Desco brought me in at the end of practice, and he threw his arm around me, and he said, told the guys about this great recruit he had and how much he believed in him. And they said, but he can't go to class, so I got a friend coming into town today for the basketball game, so why don't you run every stair in the Carrier Dome and let me know where the best seat is. So he had a way about it, right? He didn't just yell at you, he set you up to make sure that you're going to be held accountable by your teammates as well. And any good team is held accountable by their teammates, their captains, and different people. But at the same time, he never gave up on people, right? He understood that we were just young men. We were trying to figure ourselves out as people. Some of us were going to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it wasn't just about those 4 years, right? It was about, what type of father are you going to be when you're out of here? What type of, member of your community are you going to be? And how are you going to pay, what has been provided to you here forward, right? And I think if you look at that, he's a Hall of Famer. You look at the guys that have come out of Syracuse under his watch, whether they've won national championships or not, they're all good people who are making a difference in this world. And I think that's probably, the best part about him.
When I had the time to coach for a couple of years in college, that's one of the things our head coach told us was that, you get them when they're 18, and by the time they figure it out, they graduate and you got a new crop of 18-year-olds, right? Like, so that's your job as a coach, not just to help them play lacrosse, but also like grow into men and figure out how to live life post college. Right. So that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
So one of the things I'm also super curious about is talking about your experience down in Georgia and LB3 and seeing how much lacrosse has grown in like the past couple decades, to places like Georgia and Oregon and Texas, and talk about that experience and kind of growing the sport in a non-traditional hotbed and what that was like.
Yeah, it was really the best. I got to be honest, and I'll never be able to replicate that moment of time in my life again. But I was there for a really good time period. The first thing I had is I had people working with me that were excellent. When I brought John Zilberti, when John and I got together and were able to teach lacrosse together down there, it was really special. John was one of the best coaches in the world. He could have coached at any college, any college and been one of the best offensive coordinators in the world. But even better, he was so good at teaching the skills, the fundamentals to young players. So, when I was down there, we had a focus on teaching, and I couldn't do that if I had lived on Long Island. Everybody knows everything about lacrosse, right? So you can't break the game down the way that we were breaking it down. So, we brought in great coaches, Scott Ratliff and others, and we just continue to grow. And as I said, much like Coach Desco, right? It's more about the things off the field and on the field, right? So the friendships I made down there were extremely special. But I looked down there, we were the first ones to bring Major League Lacrosse down there, right? And invested in that, right? We were the first ones, not the first ones. We were some of the people to bring college lacrosse down there, right? Syracuse came down there a couple times to play. We had a rematch of the national championship. And I did all that and invested in all that so there would be ignition. Right. And I think like now we're like really starting to see it. Like lacrosse is absolutely booming down there. You look in the NCAA at some of the best players in the country. Those were the guys that were playing for myself and John Zilberti. 4 starters on Army. We got started attackman at Maryland. I mean, just all over the place. So it was really a unique, special time. The community, the people in Georgia are extremely special. You got great athletes down there. You got great weather. You got great fields. And then you have people who, were willing to commit and put in the work. So as I said, special moment in time. Won't ever be able to recreate it, but I look back at that with all the relationships I have. I mean, I saw players this past weekend, out there playing. Kid on North Carolina. There's kids on Syracuse, Johnny Scott, and so I see these kids and their parents, and it all makes me very happy that I was a small part of their success.
It seems like a lot of what I've heard from folks who have worked in those types of areas that like there's such an excitement like when it's brought there, and like you find people that really love it, and like it almost makes it so that those areas are almost doing better than some of the traditional hotbeds, because it's almost like the traditional hotbeds, like, oh yeah, we've always had this. Like, it's almost like taken for granted a little bit, like where like the new areas, they're just like so excited. Like my buddy Brad, who's another card collector, him and his sons, they live out in like San Diego area. And it's the same way, like this like excitement, like, oh, this is this new thing. We haven't had a lot of experience with it. We're really excited to do it. Like, so that's really awesome.
And there's a point though that, you have that special time, right? And then the pigs come in. Right. Yep. And then the pigs come in and, they try and bang the parents for too much money, and they suddenly don't invest in the same things that they were doing. And suddenly anybody can coach there, and you're still charging $5,000-$6,000. And to me, I just, when things like that, I started to see things like that, I knew it was over and I didn't want to be involved anymore. Right. There's, I want value in what you do. I want the highest quality of coaches. I want road trips that coaches are not going out and getting sloshed at night because they're committed to what they're doing Saturday morning. So while there is a special moment in all those areas, once people understand that suddenly it's a marketplace, things start to change. And I hope that Atlanta can get back to where we were a little while ago, because I do see a change, unfortunately. And, suddenly you'll get less players coming out of the area. And hopefully in the future, there'll be somebody else who sees an opportunity to continue to grow it the right way.
Yeah. Unfortunately, club sports in every sport is awful.
It's hard.
Well, it's awful. I have a kid in 2 club sports, and it's brutal.
No, it's hard. It's hard, but you just got to make sure that if they're teaching, right, there's got to be value in what you're doing, and that's always the most important thing to me.
So I know you mentioned a little bit before we went live about what you're doing now. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you're doing currently and how it relates to lacrosse and all that kind of stuff?
I'm driving a lot up and down the Syracuse and back. In 2018, I met this amazing person by the name of Andre Goodger. And Andre was the owner of the Atlanta Blaze, and I was coaching at the Atlanta Blaze. And Andre offered me an opportunity. He said, I'd love for you to come work for me, and we're going to do some incredible things. And since that time, I've been able to do some incredible things. So I work for a sports cable network called Next Level Sports Entertainment, and I've been able to produce shows. I've been able to produce docu-series, St. Francis Football out of Baltimore. I don't know if you know about them. We did a great 8-part docu-series. I've got to produce live lacrosse. It's been really cool. One of the projects I really love that we put together, it's called the Next Collegiate League. And we play sixes lacrosse, and we created this league in 2022, and we fully fund this league, and we started 6 historically Black colleges and universities: Morgan State, Coppin State, and Dell State, and Norfolk State, and a couple more, Lincoln University. And since then, we've grown to 15 teams. So for the last 5 years, we've been playing sixes lacrosse. We put it on our network, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to help with the barrier for entry. So we've had great sponsors in the past. Cascade Maverick helped us get up started with everything, which was wonderful. And we feel like that historically Black colleges, universities, if they do have the opportunity to, have lacrosse programs, it's a great opportunity for a lot of young men and women. So, the women in our sixes league, they play in equipment, just like the men do. We play by the same rules. Awesome. We are at the core of who we are. We are an innovation and science company, and we try some different things, and it's been wonderful, right? We had a bunch of young ladies who didn't really know how to play lacrosse before, right? Are we going to give them a stick that has no pocket and then explain a bunch of rules about shooting space, or are we going to let them play and have some fun? And we've let them play and have some fun. So we're having our fifth year this year in about 2 weeks. It's going to be incredible. So that's exciting. And then another exciting thing is our company acquired Epic Lacrosse. So we are now Epic Sports, and for the last 6 to 8 months, I've been building that. And Epic's got a great reputation for innovation and our Dragonfly shafts and some other things that we do, indoor box stuff. So I'm excited to bring new product to the forefront and get back involved at that side of the business, which I haven't been in years. And I think I'll have trouble, securing Syracuse lacrosse. I think Gary's got a good stronghold there, as he should. But I'm hoping to get the product in some groups' hands and have some fun with it. Lacrosse has been pretty stale for a little bit, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys know equipment, but it seems like everybody's kind of replicating, doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
So with our science and engineering backgrounds that our main company has, I think we're going to try and do some cool things. So we'll see. But outside of that, I watch a ton of Syracuse lacrosse, guys. I love it. Favorite team out of all teams that are out there. Love getting back to the university. As you mentioned before, my daughter's a senior. Last little run at it, senior day on Sunday, and she's had a incredible, experience being a part of the Syracuse family, and my son's just starting his journey. So, it's a really special time. I met my wife at Syracuse as well. So, for us having two of our kids there, we have one more daughter who's a sophomore, and hopefully, she has an opportunity to attend school there as well. We'll see what happens there. But, we love the university and love the Syracuse lacrosse program. And I'm very bullish on where we're going and what we're doing. Right now, I read a lot of different things, right? But for somebody who's watched a lot of lacrosse, and from somebody who's got a kind of a front row seat to some of this is a special team and special individuals on this team. Joey Spolina's a special young man. Whether he wins a national championship or not, I've watched that young man since he's been in about the 5th grade, and he's risen to every challenge that's out there. And he works harder than a lot of guys, maybe any guy that I see out there. And he's a true leader. So, I'm hoping that he's able to finish the deal for this team, because I think that, when you work that hard, you deserve it. For sure. When you put in that work and you've handled all the pressure over the years. So, I'm really pulling for this team, but I think they're special. And regardless if they win a national championship or not, this team will be connected for life. And that's not like every other team out there. Sometimes you don't accomplish your goal and you're not connected for life. Billy Dwans and Luke Roas, Mikey Leos and Jimmy McCool, those guys are connected, and I've watched them be connected since, they were juniors in high school. So I'm really bullish on this team, really bullish on some of the things that are going on from a coaching perspective. So I'm excited to see us take on the Cavs this weekend.
Nice.
I was going to say, from the social media side, Matt and I obviously see it. I'm in the weeds in it. And how tough is it as a parent to stay out of that? Because I see a lot of the parents that sit back and just read it.
Yeah.
And obviously you have your ways of commenting on it, because I know you've played the game at the highest level. So how tough is it when something is said about the coaching staff? I'll just say it that way.
Listen, those guys are great. Those guys are in high profile positions, but if you know the game of lacrosse, right, as I believe that I have some decent knowledge on it, I understand what they're doing, right? And they're working their tails off, and they've done some really unique, cool things this year. So, there's just people around on social media, and everybody has a right to their opinion out there. But I'm appreciative. I know how much work goes into every bit of running a lacrosse program like Gary does, B, running the recruiting like Pat does, all the stuff that Coach O does. I mean, they put in tireless hours of work. So, when they see stuff on social media, is what it is. Everybody has a right to opinion. I normally think that they may not be as knowledgeable or have maybe some of the inside information that others have.
That's the thing, is the loudest voices are the people that know the least usually. So
listen, it's also a different time, right? This isn't the early 90s and 2000s when there aren't as many dominant programs out there. There are a lot of different equations that go into what occurs right now, and my hope is that our new athletic director sees the future of the sport of lacrosse, and our athletic program is going to have to support Gary within NIL and the different things that it's going to take to win. Virginia's doing it, Duke's doing it, all the other programs are doing it. If we want to maintain being who we are, we need support from the new athletic director, and we need Gary to be uplifted, because if you uplift a guy like Gary and you give him the tools that he needs to be successful, he will be successful. He's successful right now with less tools than all the other ACC programs in the country. And he's doing a phenomenal job with it. If we give him the money and the tools that he needs, we can get back to those days of being in the Final Four year after year. But he'll need those tools if we want to stay, as a premier program in the country.
Yeah.
Because you guys know it. I stopped by Duke, Virginia the other day. There's maybe 1,000 people there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. There's more people at a women's game on a Tuesday night. There's no place like the Carrier Dome.
Yep.
There's no fans like, they're in the Carrier Dome, so educated, right? They play good defense for 40 seconds. They rise. They know. Good ground balls, so different things. There's no better place in the world to play lacrosse than at Syracuse University.
100%.
So the new AD, give Gary the tools that he needs to make sure we can continue having that success.
I think it was this past offseason, Virginia got like a multi-million-dollar donation from somebody. Like that's the kind of thing you need, right? Like you need that.
Correct. You need an endowment to put scholarships, and you need to make sure the rules are correct, right? Like if somebody puts it down an endowment for a men's scholarship, it should be for a men's scholarship. That person should not have to buy, another sports scholarship as well. So there's a way to figure it out, but main point is it is going to be a bit of an arms race, and as a university, Syracuse fans, alumni, the school itself, we're all going to need to step up a little bit to make sure that we're a part of this arms race moving forward.
Nice.
I was going to say, Matt, I have one more. You're good. You're good, Liam. Go ahead.
Go for it, Dan. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, you got the Carrier Dome, but money's money. So we got to be there too.
As an alum, I'll just ask it this way. What's it like seeing Reggie get the women's job, right? Like, obviously, we saw that. Yeah. I'm a Reggie fan. I've been a Reggie fan since day one. What's it like, just in general, right? Seeing somebody like that get the women's job.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I met Reg, I think it was summer '99 up at Lake Placid, playing for Graftex. And, it was like an iconic individual. So, for me, my daughter was recruited to play for Gary. I thought she was going to go play for a guy, and it did change, and love Kayla, right? But my daughter's style is more of a being coached by a man. So, having Reg come in, he has been fabulous this year. He's a fatherly figure to the girls. He is a source of calm with them. And, I think he's just starting to hit his stride. What he's done with our defense this year is incredible. It's like watching a high-powered offense, just watching defense. Right. So, I just think that it's a perfect fit for the university. It's a perfect fit for Reggie. And, it's going to breed more success in the women's program moving forward. So, from a parent's perspective, it's just been wonderful, calming, and I'm looking forward to giving him a hug and thanking him when I see him on Saturday for, taking care of my daughter for the year.
So we talked about Saturday. Saturday's a big day. We have the triple header if you count football, right? And senior day for the women's team, and then alumni day / Desco Ring of Honor. Are there any former teammates or buddies you expect to see coming up for the alumni game?
Yeah, I think a lot of people will be coming up. Part of the nice thing about going to Carrier Dome is you're always going to see, somebody, So, I always get Dave Pusher was a roommate of mine at school, and he lives locally at West Janney. So we watch all the women's games together, which is great. I always see Sal Bliss in the building, see the Hardy brothers around. I know Casey Powell's been roaming around recently, so I've seen him a couple times. I think it's going to be, it's Alumni Weekend, so I think a bunch of guys are going to come up and support Coach Desco. I mean, he'll be the 10th name in the Ring of Honor. And when you think about Syracuse University and the cachet that we have within sports, it's really amazing. It's really well deserved. He was a part of every one of those national championships that we won. He won 6 on his own, I believe, as well, 5 or 6 on his own as well. I think as ex-players, we think it's important to get up there and support him. We were able to go up for this past year's Final Four for a 25-year anniversary of the 2000 team, and it was an incredible turnout and a lot of great faces. And we all made a commitment to stay connected. Right, life is very short, and hadn't seen some of those people in a very long time. So we've sent out some messages this week, and we got some guys coming up. I'm going to ask you guys a trivia question.
Okay.
Right?
Oh boy.
Why this name is famous, and he's coming up this weekend. His name is Ethan Mills. Do you know why Ethan is famous?
I do not. That is completely blanking me, and I feel like I'm.
So Ethan was on the other end of Ryan Powell's 287th point in the national championship.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Towards the end. So Ethan will be up, and Ethan grew up with me in my hometown and played at Syracuse with us. So
nice.
Sorry, throw that in there. He'll be up this weekend.
Okay.
And, lots of guys. So, but yeah, there's a little trivia question. Ethan Mills, who scored that goal off that point. So.
Nice. That's awesome.
So, yep.
Do you have any other questions, Dan?
I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm good too. Anything else you want to share with folks before we let you go?
Yeah.
No, I just let's fill up the dome this weekend, and let's pay respects to a lot of different things. Pay respects to the seniors who have worked their ass off on the women's lacrosse team for the last 4 to 5 years. Great group of young ladies, and they're playing really, really well right now. So let's try and fill up the dome for them. And then the boys. Listen, you just played a great ACC team in North Carolina last week. You brush it off and you get back, and you got UVA coming to town. So let's be loud as possible be there. And just at halftime, please, let's give the respect to the man, John Desco, for all that he's done for this university. I love him dearly as a coach, as a friend. And, I think the Syracuse community loves him as well. So I'm hoping to hear the loud roars celebrating a great man and all of his accomplishments this weekend.
For sure. Well, thank you, Liam. I'll make sure if I see you, I'll say hello too.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, keep up the great work. I love that you guys love Syracuse lacrosse. It is a special family of people. So keep on supporting the Orange, and look forward to a couple Orange wins this weekend.
Awesome. Thank you, Liam.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
You too. I was gonna say I can. There, I'll make it easier for him. I kicked him out. I got that ability. No,
the banhammer poem.
That was cool though. That was cool. I'm glad to
awesome.
I'm glad to get him on. And I'm also glad on the parent side he didn't comment on a lot of stuff, because that lets me comment on a lot of the stuff that I want to comment on. I won't be as nice as he was about the fans. I can say it.
Before we get into stuff, I got to do my card corner.
Yeah, we forgot to completely. Yeah,
that's right. Well, I figured it'd be a segue into talking about stuff after effect. So
yeah,
before I get into the first stuff I want to show, I got this in the mail.
Ooh.
Tromboli red to 5, and it's actually signed. So that's kind of cool.
You should reach out to Papa Joe about that. He's on Facebook all the time.
And then, of course, got to show this off because he was on. Yeah. That's from when he coached the Atlanta Blaze.
Yep.
And then finally, of course, got to show off Junior in his card from the set from they came out last week or 2 weeks ago. So
identical to his father. I'll just say identical looking.
Yeah, there's no denying that's his.
Yeah. Matt, your 2 biggest fans are in the YouTube comments. I just want to point that out. Oh, just think you know who they are, so it's not hard to figure out.
Let me turn on my background again.
One of them is our fan. One of them is your fan. How about that? So, a quick aside before we touch on Carolina. I don't want to do this. I wanted this to be a positive thing, and Liam kind of said it. From the parent side, the coaches do a lot. I don't want to do this, but I'm gonna have to, Matt. And we knew this was coming, right? Like I saw a lot of the social media crap after Carolina.
Yeah. We gotta stop saying the field.
That's my nice way of saying it. I'm not gonna do a whole rant on that because
one loss does not mean we fire the coach, people. It's not gonna happen. So knock it off. Like,
yeah.
Every team that has won a national championship for SU, except for maybe Gary's teams, have not gone undefeated. People.
Is it just me?
You still there? Can you hear me?
I love it.
Check. Can you hear me? I might have lost Dan. Anyways, I'll keep talking. But people, this is not like Liam even said in a very kind way.
Literally.
Can you hear me, Dan? Anyways, I'll keep talking. So this is not late 80s, early 90s, even 2000s. This is a different era, people. It's not the same 4 teams winning every year. It's not going to happen. We're going to have losses. It's going to be okay. Mistakes happen. You know, I was telling Dan before we got on the broadcast that, like, I went and rewatched the game because I was in and out of watching it. It was my son's birthday weekend. And so I was kind of watched some of it, and we went to the movies. So I was kind of in and out of watching it. And when I rewatched it, it was not as bad as you would have thought based on the social media comments. Like, did we lose the game? Yes. Did we have some bad turnovers? Yes. Did we make some mistakes? Yes. But, like, it was really just a couple stretches of time, and that was it. Can you hear me, Dan? You back now?
Yeah, I'm good. Everything shut down on my end, so I was really hoping that everything kept going.
It did. I was vamping. I did a great job.
Okay, good. I'll rewatch this later because I was like, "Oh, great! This is good. This is gonna end, and I'm gonna have to restart everything." And
so
magically, my laptop went into airplane mode. Don't know how. So
what I was saying is that, kind of to Liam's point, we're in a different era of lacrosse, right?
Yep.
Teams aren't perfect. It's not the same 4 teams winning every year. And, like, I was explaining that I went back and rewatched it because I was in and out of watching it when it was live. And, like, you would have thought that we've played our worst game in the history of the program based on how people reacted. And it really was just a couple stretches of time where we had some bad turnovers, maybe took some poor advised shots, slipped a couple times on the ground. Like, you know, so it honestly was 2 chunks of time, and then the rest of the game wasn't that bad. It was back and forth. It was like, so it, you know, did we get outplayed? Yes. Did we lose? Yes. Did we make some mistakes that ultimately caused us the game? We had said last week that with Wambach and the way how good he is at the faceoff X, you have to play almost perfect to make up for that discrepancy, right? And we didn't play perfect, and it bit us in the ass, more or less. Like,
you know how I'm going to blame this on? I'm going to blame it on Tim because Tim told me Syracuse had the edge. I'm going to do this, Tim. You told me as a Hopkins fan Syracuse had the edge, and I bought into it. Definitely. And I don't want to do this. I mean, like we talked about it before we went on. Like, a couple of stretches here, a couple of stretches there, and we're having a completely different conversation. And the thing is, like, Mullen started to win faceoffs late, right? So if that happens early, maybe Tim's a little quieter and Tim doesn't roast people about my podcast equipment, but we're not gonna do that, Tim. I already saw your comments on Facebook about that, so you can make that joke.
Fantastic. You should put that one up. That's great.
I'm not putting that one up. He knows what he did. There. Are you happy, Matt?
That's fantastic.
To be fair, he commented on David's post and pretty much said the same thing. So
okay. That's so funny.
I saw this Saturday. He thinks he's funny.
So, and one of the things we talked about too last week was that you couldn't let Petro get his hands free.
Yep.
Right. And he got his hands free. But I don't think it was necessarily at the fault of Dwan in particular, because the way our defense is centered around is Dwan is a lot of the times the slide guy. And so you watched a lot of the times the way they moved their offense is they moved it so that, like, then Petro, like, most of the goals Petro scored, Dwan wasn't even on him, right? Like, they had gotten a switch because he cut through the middle or whatever else, because Dwan was kind of the floater towards the middle a little bit more to be the slide guy. And so that's part of why he was as successful as he was. And, you know, like, he was hitting everything too. Like, if you look at last year compared to this year, he scored 6 goals on us last year out of, like, over 20 shots. He scored 5 out of 10.
Right.
Like, that's a best of best shooting days like that. Even that high doesn't happen very often. And so, yeah, that was tough. I did like a breakdown, kind of like what you did last week, where I like look as I was watching the game, I wrote notes as it progressed, and like great first quarter.
Yep.
Right. Like I was like, okay, this is going to be a good game, back and forth, whatever.
Yep.
And then they scored the one goal to go up 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get the ball, and I think it was Luke Roa throws a pass. It goes off of one of North Carolina's sticks, and they call it over and back, which I sent the email, or I sent a screenshot to our group chat.
Yep.
Because as soon as that happened, I was like, what is happening? Because that should not have been an over and back. That was a completely missed call by the referee.
I'd love, there's a referee. He'll call himself a referee. I'd love for him to explain that to me. He knows who he is. I'm not going to give him. I already gave him enough credit by showing a comment on the screen. He's a person that knows everything.
Yep. Well, so I literally looked it up. Like,
yeah, you sent the. Yep.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
Screenshot, it says once a ball is in the offensive half and the shot clock is active under 60 seconds, it cannot return to the defensive half unless touched by a defender or a shot is taken. It literally went off the defense's stick, and then they instantly scored, and that was essentially could have been a 2-goal swing. So now they're up 4-3 at the end of the first instead of potentially 3-3.
Yeah, and the thing about that, right? It's not like it was a okay, it might have hit the stick, right? You could see it go like completely opposite way as he threw it. Like,
and the wild thing was an over and back almost happened in the fourth quarter, and it went off a defender, and they didn't call it.
Right.
So
I don't want to. Yeah. The only thing with that, and I hate to. Why are you making me be the defender of these people? Why do you do this? I think people, and I think we agree it probably would have been closer, right? I still think Carolina would have won though. Like I don't think
so too, with the way they were playing and their strategy of how they covered Joey and how their offense moved and stuff. I think they probably still would have won, but like that that completely swung the momentum towards them, and then that's when they went on. They went on a 6-goal run.
Yeah. And then it was essentially over, right? Like I think we can all be honest here.
Yeah.
Like
it was very reminiscent of the Final Four last year. Like that's what made me think of, like where we got down and then we played more sloppy because we were playing with more urgency.
Yep.
Right. Like so, and it was interesting because Kark made the point a couple times that North Carolina plays very loose because they have a guy who's going to win a lot of faceoffs, right?
Yep. And
so when you don't have that, you have to play a little bit more rigid, and therefore you're going to make more mistakes because you're going to force things a little bit more or some of that kind of stuff because you feel a little bit more urgency to try to score or whatever, or like you have to optimize this possession.
And I think the crazy part is, like going into the third, right? You're like, okay, get it within 3. Just get it within, because I was like, get it within 3. You go into the fourth, you're comfortable. That's where I want to be. Like 3 is, and then they couldn't get over that hump.
Yeah,
and then it's like, okay, all right, like are we? And some of it was the grass. Like I think people also need to realize that the turf does play a role in that. Yeah. Turf, grass, whatever you want to call it. It does play a role in that.
And I know people were, because Gary mentioned it in the post game, and people online were giving him a hard time about it, saying like, shouldn't be an excuse. You need to get on grass. But like, where are they gonna practice on grass? Like, well, I saw people pointing out maps of the campus and and where there were grass fields. And first of all, I'm going to tell you right now, if it's been raining. Even if it hasn't been raining, soccer is not going to let any other sport practice on their field and ruin their nice grass field. It's not happening.
Yeah.
And then add in that it's been shitty and raining the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So SU is going to let them just destroy a field, like, and okay, you know, like it is what it is, right? Like it's you know, and that's one of like 3. I think that there's 3 fields that 3 teams that play on grass. and North Carolina is one of them.
Yeah.
And I can understand people's point in that if they want to win the national championship, they're going to have to figure it out because UVA stadium is grass.
Yeah. Yep.
I get that point. Hopefully by then we'll be able to get on grass, but it's the same thing with when it's icy out and people complain about them not being able to practice outside. If the field is covered in ice, you can't magically not have it covered in ice. Like
I was going to say, I got news for people. It snowed last night here.
Yeah.
This isn't a game. I know most of the people listening know the weather. I'm not saying that, but and that's like my frustration with people in general is that. So now we're making an excuse for the university to fire him because of the field. We're not even talking about the game. We're way past that. We're making every excuse. Okay, Wyatt Huddle overthrows a pass that 99% of the time doesn't overthrow. And then somehow that's Gary's fault.
Yeah.
Joey gets switched every time, and they constantly switched him. Somehow, and I saw this, and I really wanted to go off, but I didn't. Matt, you would have been proud of me because I was ready to defend Joey, but I was like, what is he supposed to do? Right? Like, these teams are watching him.
Yeah, he's being face guarded, and then when it goes to – or he's being covered, but then as soon as the ball goes to Jason, he's getting face guarded, so he can't even get the ball.
And then the double is so quick. I know, Tim, I'm not doing this, Tim. You're not getting any credit.
You mentioned to get it to 3. We got it to 3 at one point in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
But then we get an offsides. And then we got a penalty. Any of those things go a little bit differently. Then it's within 2, and then maybe it's a whole different ball game. Maybe we get some momentum, right?
Yeah.
We always look at the stats going into a game, right? And their goalie had previously been his save percentage was 49%. The last 2 games, their Harvard game and this game, he's been over 60%. So he's clearly seeing the ball better. He's figuring it out. So I mean, it is what it is, right? It's funny too because I was
I swear,
I was gonna. A couple of my notes said poor shooting or some sloppy play, but did I lose you again, Dan? Or are you still there? Test. Anyways, so you say poor shooting. Our shots on goal versus shots were good, but they had a lot of saves. He had 63% saves, and then I wrote some sloppy play because if you look at it, North Carolina actually had more turnovers than we did. They had 18 to our 15, which 15 is high. You want to get around 10 at most. But so it was more than we want, but we had less than North Carolina did turnover wise. This was another game of who's the hot hand. So Leah was back to the hot hand. Roa had a couple, but then our kind of secondary players didn't really, produce a lot,
right.
You mentioned Joey had 0, but then, Bear had 1 assist. McEntee was 0. Bogue, I think, had 1 assist. I was happy to see another goal from Tucker. That was nice though. I mean, McCool had his worst.
You're welcome for this. You're welcome for this comment. So this is Tim being Tim. He knows. I know he knows. So I know he.
It's funny though, but
go ahead.
Because I bet you a lot of high school stadiums are turf now. Unless you just go to a field
I know. I would. Let's see.
Because Liverpool's turf, CNS is turf, CBA is going to be turf, JD has turf. I'm trying to think of all. Maybe not
all the big schools. But even they have the turf football, so that's probably where you're playing. So we're playing. Tim, you know what, Tim? We aren't as poor as Long Island. I'll say it. I'll be the one that bites the bullet on this one. No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, back to McCool. He had his worst game of the season, right? He was good at the start, but then they had, they got on a run and they were shooting. They were shooting well. I think also you could argue too that the defense didn't do him any favors with some of the goals either. but I
Yep.
liked the call of pulling him and putting Ippoliti in because it kind of gave a little bit of energy. And like even Gary said, like Jimmy's still our starter. It was just we needed to switch something up to see if it made a difference. Like, you know,
Right.
so and like I know Joey had some or had no points, but like there was a couple that could have easily been an assist. Like the one that he had to bear on the backside in the fourth quarter that
Well,
goalie made an incredible save. Like,
right. That's what I mean, though. Like, it's not people want to act like he didn't have opportunities to get points, and this isn't even a criticism of him. Like, we can play this game.
Yeah, he had a couple
Like,
of these guys didn't bury the shot. Same thing with he passed it to Rowe a couple times on the man up. Like, and you know, you talk about little things that made differences, right? Like there were some 50-50 ground balls or ones that we had the edge and we just missed the ground ball. But then also we went 1 for 5 on man up. Right?
Yep.
Like Leo scored the one goal in the fourth quarter, I think it was, and they got a penalty for a push. And then it was a face-off, and they won the face-off. So then that killed instantly that penalty, right? Like, that one's down the drain, right? Like, and we were an extra person on the face-off and still missed it. Like, so it's those little things that, you know, kind of kill you.
Yeah, it's a schematics thing. Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, we can play this game, and look, they were 1-2, right? And that's the other thing. Like, they didn't get a lot of opportunities. So for the most part, the defense played clean.
Yep. Yeah, like if you look at the stats, all the stats, like team stat wise, are neck and neck with the exception of face-offs.
Yep.
And then saves. Like their goalie had a few more saves, 4 more saves, but they had 3 more turnovers.
Yeah.
Clears were about the same. They missed 4, we missed 3.
Mm-hmm.
They only had 4 more ground balls than us, considering they won 7 more face-offs.
Yep.
Like a couple little things go differently. And like we've said this before in previous losses, some of the turnovers are just at really bad times too. Like couldn't have been the worst time for that to happen. Like when we were getting some momentum or like whatever the situation was, right? So it is what it is. You got to have a short memory and move on to the next one. So,
right. Yeah. Do you have any other thoughts? I have one more.
Go ahead.
My last thought is shout out to all the Syracuse fans that made that trip and made it sound like a dome game at one point during that game, because
we heard you, Dave.
We heard, no, don't do this. Don't give him credit. He doesn't need this. He doesn't listen. I'll just say it that way. He's a hater. No, he's Tim will relay this. I'm sure Tim will. For having 3,600 people, this is why I love the dome.
Yep.
You know, you can fill it up and it looks like 3,000 people. When you see the pictures, it looks like it was half empty. Like it just looks like there was. I'm like, and most of them were Syracuse fans. Say it like, you know, all this criticism of Syracuse fans and that I'm doing, but they travel well. Every fan travels well.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to get to my bitterness with UVA, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go off on my job. Go ahead, Matt. Anything else?
I don't think so. It's you know, I said it when we lost the Ivy games, right? It's good to have some reality checks every so often too. Like it's a very, even back in general, like in the era, any era, it's very hard to go undefeated and then win a national championship. Like I think a couple of Gary's teams did it. 06 Virginia did it. And then what was it? The 2021 Maryland team did it. And that's it. Like it's very hard to do that. So it's you know, it and the ACC is wide open, right? Like all the teams are good. Even Duke, who's 0-2, you could argue they're still a decent team. Like Virginia too, they're figuring it out right now. North Carolina is very good. Notre Dame just put a whipping on
Yep.
Richmond. Like, so it's there's probably going to be 4 teams in the tournament, ACC teams.
Yeah, and the other point I was going to make about North Carolina, they're good. I don't want to hear this crap about them. They're good. They're legit. I'm sick of like hearing that from Syracuse fans and not realizing how good a team is. They're already doing it with UVA. I'm just going to tell you, and we can lead into it with this. UVA is dangerous. We just saw what they did against Duke. Here we go. Like 8,000 years they can't beat Duke. That's obviously a joke, and then they pull that off. And then like there are going to be teams that they lose to, whichever ACC team that you're going to head scratch. I don't want to say this to people, but North Carolina wasn't one of those. It's like, okay, all right, Carolina was better. Like, okay, like if we.
The thing is, all the teams we've lost to, we have been good teams.
Yeah, it's not like a loss to a Colgate. I hate to say it that way, but like,
yeah, like we lost to Princeton when they were number 2 in the country.
Yep.
We lost to Harvard when they were number 4 in the country, and then we lost to UNC when they were number 2 in the country.
Well,
we're not losing to St. Bonaventures.
It's like we've joked about it. People legit thought this team would go undefeated. I was half joking when I said that. Like, I knew the gauntlet would get them at some point. Like, there's no way.
Yep.
Like, and if they did, they'd probably lose in the first round just because of the exhaustion of running the table through everything. Like, that's the other thing.
The other thing, too, is like, this was the first time this team has played in heat, too.
Yeah.
Like, it's been 40 degrees here since, it was 20 degrees. Like, now it's 40 degrees. Like, it's still very cold here. Like, so, that plays a factor, too. When you're not used to playing in the heat, it can affect how you play and, all that kind of stuff. But, I mean, it is what it is. You move on to the next one. I think this next game's a big one. I mean, the last 3 games are big ones, right? Like, so, because you can't overlook Colgate too, so, but,
right. A side note leading into UVA. I won't be there.
You got to work.
That's my thing. I won't be there. Yep. I couldn't work. I couldn't work the time off out.
Dang it. That's
say it that way.
I'll make sure I get some cheers and on the podcast, Dan. So one thing I'll say before we even get into like the game piece of it, if you're going, folks, get there early.
Yep.
And forget trying to park over by ESF. It's not happening. They're not even selling tickets over there. They're sending people to South Campus and shuttling because of the construction on 81. So don't even bother. Like I never buy a parking pass ahead of time. I bought it ahead of time, and I bought it for one of the garages. The garage over by Manny's, like up by Marshall Street.
Right.
But because you like it's literally not even available to buy those.
Yeah,
it's only gonna be for people who have passes. Like, so you're not gonna be able to get over there. And get there early.
It's kind of funny, like, especially with being triple header, right? The football people are going to be there. We all know how this works. The football people are going to be there. The women's parents are going to be there, especially with it being senior day. There's going to be a good crowd. The carryover from the men's, the women's, the men's is going to be good.
Yeah,
like let's get there early. The tailgates will be going early. It's supposed to be a nice day, so hopefully, I think so. Even worse, why I can't be there. But
what does the forecast say? I'm gonna pull it up.
Yeah,
Saturday, 37 to 50 and 45% chance of rain. So it might rain,
You're
but
welcome.
It's still gonna not be freezing.
You're welcome. I just put the ultimate jinx on everybody going to the game.
Another thing too that I'll say is they posted yesterday, but get there or stay after, because after the men's game, both the men's and women's teams are going to be in Mirren Court, however the heck you say it, to do autographs.
And
I think part of that is so that, like, instead of having everybody line up and do autographs, and make the team take longer to get in the locker room, they probably want to get them out so that they can get prepped for football. So they're going to say, "Oh, go to Mirren Court," so that way we can get people out of the teams off the field, so we can start, putting the goalposts up and
get everything ready.
Yep. So, which I'm hoping we can get my son's last bit of cards signed. So,
what do you have left? Off the top of your head, how many do you have?
A lot of them are like the younger players. Well, like some of the freshmen and stuff.
You do have a connection there. I don't want to do this with you, but you do have a connection that can get you those signed.
We have Liam Banks's already.
I'm not talking about that connection. I'm talking about a whole other connection that can help you out.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, so I forget who exactly. I've got a list in our like dome bag.
Okay.
But I think it's like 15 of them, and then a couple of the coaches. So I've already been messaging with Coach O. He's like happy to give Max an autograph. So
of course he is. Can't get him on. Never mind. I'm not going to do this with you right now. We're going to do this after. Just a worry going in. A general worry. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I don't wish this to happen. Every time there's a momentous event at the Dome, they come out flat.
Yep.
They come out flat every single time. And look, I'm going to say it, Matt. It happened during Desco. It happened during Gary. So it's not just a Gary thing. It's not just a Desco thing.
Any of the retirements or whatever. Yep.
I found my picture from I think it was the 100th year of SU lacrosse, and that was one of the worst games of my life as a fan, because that was the Notre Dame game when the alums were all standing there. All the alums were there.
Yep.
That being said, it is UVA, and it's Coach Tiffany again, a local guy that.
Yep.
I think we're all happy.
Well, 2 years ago when we played them, that was a shootout. That was a 17-16 win.
I think it's going to be that again. I'm just being honest with people. Like, they're going to want to run, and
their offense is really good.
Yeah.
The weak point had been their defensive play and their goalie.
Yep.
And he's had their goalie kind of like the North Carolina goalie. The past couple weeks, he's had really good weeks. But I mean, the two Millen brothers are great players. Both of them have over 50 points.
Yeah.
And then you have the supporting pieces around him, Truett Sunderland and Ryan Colsey and some of those other guys, Ryan Dunkel.
Yep.
They have some really good players, and they have typically in the past couple of years done really well. Like, their defense has matched up well against us, particularly against Joey.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested to see, especially seeing how this past week went, what we do adjustment wise to, because Joey needs to get involved in the offense and be the catalyst, right? He's the quarterback. He needs to have the ball. So how do we make sure that we get him the ball to jumpstart the offense? Because if it's like last week where if they pull the same stuff North Carolina pulled, we're in for a long day. We need to have, or other people need to step up, right?
Right.
So, this UVA team is very interesting because they were sitting at 5-4 before ACC play,
and now they're just rolling.
Rolling. They beat Notre Dame. No one expected that, and then they beat Duke, which they hadn't done in I think they said 8,000 days.
Yeah, it was. I joked about the 8,000 years, but it was something. It was something insane number.
It was literally over 8,000 days since they had.
Yeah.
It's been like that many. It's been like 20 games since they've beaten them. So,
they're spreading around their faceoffs too. I'm looking at their
they've got
faceoff
3
numbers.
guys. Yep.
Yep. Griff Meyer, about 50%.
He's their main guy, and then the other
Yep.
2 kind of split supporting him. Yep.
So here's that game. We always talked about it. Developing Drew Angelo.
Yep.
This is that kind of game.
He did better percentage-wise than Johnny did last week.
Shh, don't say that. They're gonna come for you. The Johnny people are gonna. No, I listen. Drew Angelo has been a star, and he's a rising star.
Yep.
But this is the kind of game where you need a Drew, right? Because you look at how UVA splits them up. There's going to come a time where you're going to need Drew to give Johnny a. Yep. You're going to need it. The other thing is, I know it didn't happen this game, but they've got Chuck for another game again. So here we go again. We're getting Chuck back into the rotation again.
Yep.
And it's just gonna be crazy. Like, I want to find out if Ryder's out for the year. That's what I want to find out. Because nothing has been said. And
I got to pay attention to see if I see him on the sideline on Saturday.
Because, like, they Matt, don't send this to your people. Don't send this to the people when I say it this way. Jake is better as the third guy. He's not designed to be the second guy. He's not designed to be the 2A guy.
Yeah.
He's better as the guy that gives somebody a burn, right? If you give Ryder, and he's played great.
Yeah.
But, right, his situation is better against backup middies. They're second line middies. I think we're going to see a more aggressive attack on offense this week, I hope.
Yeah.
More so, like you said, the adjustment is how do we get Joey the ball? And Brian said in the group chat, so here we go again, Brian. I'm saying something else that you said. Michael Leo full-time attack. Just move him down. Don't play this game of I just want to he's better on attack. I don't want to do this. He's got the quickness for attack. It's not that he's bad in the midfield. Like, somebody's going to take what I just said and say midfield. Nope.
Yeah.
He's better on the attack side.
Yeah.
I don't know. Go ahead. What other thoughts you have?
It makes me think of, was it last year when we played Notre Dame and Joey did a lot of off-ball stuff to get the ball and to get off of Sean Light, right?
Yep.
That was the kind of stuff you want to see, right? Like, if that kind of adjustment, if we're playing a team that's playing us like North Carolina did this past week. Like, how do we be creative to get him his hands free so he can get the ball? And in spots where he can do something with it, right? Because, you get the ball, but then the double would be so quick that he couldn't even do anything with it, right? Like,
the other thing is, right, in regards to Joey, we saw it against Duke. We've seen it against other teams. They pick at the right time. Whoever it is goes behind and picks at the right time. There was a little delay against Carolina. And I don't know what it was, but Carolina was on it.
Yep.
Right? So you beat the pick guy. There's ways around it. I'm not the coach. There's a reason. Once again, there's a reason I'm not a coach. There's a reason
we have the jobs we have, right?
Yeah, let's just be fair. We won't talk about our jobs because we're not going to do that today. But there's got to be see, this is going to come off like I'm criticizing Gary when I say this, but it's not. There's got to be a way where you get Joey involved early and get him on fire early. Because when you get him on fire early, the whole team rolls. When you make him, let him play the true quarterback, which is what we all want. Let him play the true quarterback and just let him run the offense. Or get Wyatt on the running, right? Get Wyatt on a run. And then they got to come out early. That's my thought. They got to come out early. Use the energy of the dome because it will be energized and people will be loud.
Yeah.
except for when Matt says defense. They'll be loud, but like
they'll just stare at me.
Yeah.
Uh,
But you got to use that energy, right? Like there's going to be a lot of people for this game.
I mean, I don't see why there's not more than 10,000 people there. I'd be surprised if it's under 10,000.
Don't do this. You're going to walk yourself into this one. No, and then we're going to get another quit. Oh, that's the Syracuse fans are the most educated. Liam said it, so I'm not mocking it. Trust me. There's a lot of uneducated fans. That's all I'm going to say. That's my like thing with that. But
yeah,
use the energy, come out early. Joey 6 points. There's my key right there.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you hope he gets enough so that in theory next week he could break it. Because like you want him to break it at home, right? Like,
yeah, that's my one thing. I don't want it to happen away.
Like, it would suck if it was at Notre Dame.
Yep.
Right. Like, because then you can't do you don't do anything with it other than they say it on the broadcast, right? Like, yeah, because Notre Dame doesn't give a shit. Like,
no, Notre Dame doesn't care, honestly.
So yeah, you really hope that it can happen, this week or next week.
I want 6. Like I said, I want 6. That's what I want.
It would be cool to do it on Senior Day too. Like, I mean, you can't go wrong with either one because it's Alumni Day this week, it's Senior Day next week. Like either way, it's.
What does he need total?
7 to break it.
Okay, I want 3 then. I'm gonna do it. I want 3. I'm dropping that number because I want it. Although 7 points would be crazy.
Yeah. It'd be a great bounce back to all the haters to be like, yes, and like screw you guys.
4-3. There's my prediction. 4-3.
Yeah.
I'll let you figure out. I know I said they'd lose to Virginia. I'm gonna backpedal just a little bit. I think I can't say the phrase that I want to say because it's technically not right. There's a bounce back game. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I think it's coming. And I think we're about to see. We saw it. You talked about it, right? We talked the road trips. We talked about it. The bounce backs. We saw it.
The playing angry.
Yep. I think we're going to see it this week. Tim, so. I'm not saying anything else you comment, by the way, because of what you said about hoping I get sick. That's all I'm reading from that comment.
Tim said it was the first win over Duke since 2004.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
So crazy.
Virginia's going to travel too. The fans are going to travel, obviously, all that fun stuff.
Yep.
I
think Roy's going to be there.
I think he has to, right? Like to
watch your kids play, and it's Alumni Day, so it's a double dip.
Like, although does who does Carolina play? Tim, do you know off the top of your head? You would know.
Well, I can look it up here
because he's Long Island. I think somebody told me
Duke plays Cornell, so then I think UNC plays Notre Dame.
At Notre Dame or at
at Notre Dame. So that's a 1-2 game actually. So 2 weeks in a row, 2 game.
And it's on Saturday at 5. Ooh. The easy answer is I think Roy's in the Dome. That's the easy answer. I think he's there, right?
There's actually a lot of big games this week.
Yeah. Alumni Day. Go ahead.
I'll say across the board, like big Big Ten games, big Ivy games that like will be factors in.
Mm-hmm.
And you know who needs to win this week if they want to have any chance of making the tournament?
Go ahead.
Duke.
Yeah. Yeah. Duke went from
a good win.
Dude went from top 5 to on the bubble in about 2 seconds. I hate to say it that way. They went.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Roy's there. Obviously, like Liam said, I think all 3 Powells would be there.
Yeah.
I'll say at least 2. At least 2.
Yeah, I don't know if Mike would come.
That's the issue. That's the one. Obviously, Paul Gate will probably be there because he's been there for a lot of the games.
I would guess that if Mike's gonna come, he's just gonna go through the back door and go in the box. Like he's not gonna, you know.
Yeah, but he'll be there for the Desco stuff. He might be at who's the okay? Besides Josh Kaufman, this is my final question to you. I know you want Josh Kaufman there. I know he's there. I know he looks for you. I know you guys chat. Who's the alum that you want to see? Like if you had your pick, you can walk up and obviously it's we're excluding the Powells from this because I know, like your infatuation and my infatuation with them. I wouldn't know what to say if I walked up to them. That's besides the point.
That's a good question.
I have an answer for you, but he probably won't be there. So the person I want.
Trying to think of who I'd want to see there. Tell your personal, I think.
Charlie Lockwood. But he
He's
won't
watch Navy.
Yeah.
That's
my answer. He's still local. He's still Jenny, so like, I know that's go ahead.
Springer'd be cool.
I know. I thought of one. I'm shocked you didn't say this one. Brooksy.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Because he's going to be there. There's Instagram posts I've seen of him commenting.
Yeah.
Brooksy, obviously, because I know you'd infatuate with him over the PLL, and you guys would have a conversation for 25 minutes about
Brooksy. Who you drafting?
Yeah.
Were you and Ford cooking up the draft?
You just see him and Papa Joe sitting in the corner discussing a trade, just like okay, like.
That's next Tuesday, by the way, folks. So let me pull that up so I can tell people because we won't have an episode before then.
We'll actually be able to recap that. Actually,
the draft is. Let's see. Their website stinks.
Yeah, I know.
Draft. Here we go. 7 p.m. next Tuesday, a week from today.
Is it on TV?
On ESPNU or stream on the ESPN app.
Okay.
You can maybe expect 3 to 4 SU players to get drafted potentially. In Joey, Billy, well, actually 4 or 5 potentially, depending on what teams.
Jimmy
Jimmy's still got a year of eligibility.
Oh crap! So you do this to me.
It's Joey, Dwan, Leo, Finn, and Roa are the 5 that are potential pickups.
I'll say 4 out of the 5. That's my answer.
Yeah.
All right.
Like I said, some of it depends on team need and that kind of stuff too. Like,
and the one that's not going to get picked might shock people. For me,
who are you going to say?
Roa.
I think it'd be between him and Finn.
Yep. Like okay, so maybe it doesn't shock people. Man, I tried to I was hoping you'd be like, oh yeah, Billy Dwan,
You were trying to give a hot take.
Yeah. No, it's not even that. We're gonna do this after the season about Roa because I'm gonna dive into that one.
While we're talking the draft, since we're on it.
Yep.
So on their website, they also have Adam Lamberti's big board, which I think his big board is flawed, but we won't get into the details of that.
No, we aren't going to do that. We're gonna find a PLL guy.
But so Joey's ranked 1 on so not on overall picks, but by position. So Joey's ranked 1 for attackman, and Finn's ranked 7.
Yeah,
for positional, and then midfield. Leo's 4 and Roa's 6.
Mhm.
And Billy's 4. But Billy might move up because Schaller's injury.
Your cousin?
Oh my God.
I'm gonna get somebody.
You're gonna get someone to believe that at some point.
Tim, I can't do that. Okay, I literally can't. Trust me, I literally cannot. Like, I can't do.
Because there's a potential that
Yeah,
Billy moves up a little bit, just because I don't think Schaller's gonna be able to play this season anyways. So he might fall because
yep.
then people can't. Teams might not draft him right away.
I mean, for what it's worth, he has Finn moving up. Like,
Yeah, Finn's moved up 9 spots.
oh, Cornell is on the island too. Yeah,
Cornell Duke. The Cornell Duke game.
oh, Cornell's on Long Island. Yeah, Tim just
Nice.
commented that he will be at Cornell Duke.
Nice.
Hopefully that's on Corrigan Sports, because that'll be an automatic tune out for me. Sorry, I'll be that one.
So draft Tuesday. I'm
Yep.
excited. I really hope somehow Joe is able to make some moves and get Joey on the Redwoods. Because I already was pseudo rooting for the Redwoods because Sammy and Carter are on there, and then Joe's the GM. So that was kind of like them and the Atlas were my 2 teams.
I mean,
Atlas have 3
I wanna-
SU does too. So
I want him at number 2. I'll just say it that way. Number 2.
you want Joey drafted number 2?
Yeah,
Okay. Why is that?
because of who he gets drafted to.
Who's that?
The
Cannons.
Yeah.
They won't draft him though. They've already got a full attack.
I don't want to do this. No. You're throwing out hypotheticals about how Joe can trade. I'm saying I want him. No,
I'm just spitting facts when you come here with your BS, Dan.
You know what, Matt? Contact Matt if you need anything. You know what? We're gonna do this. Contact Matt. Then when Matt posts on Facebook that he hates SU fans, I'll like it. That's all I'm gonna say. I think we'll get out of here.
Yeah,
fairly quick.
Yeah. Show up Saturday, folks. Except Dan because
yeah, shut up. Way to do this. My one last question. I'll end it with this.
Yep.
What's the score?
I think it's going to be another shootout again. Like a 16-15 kind of thing.
I'll go 17-15. So still the same. Like we're gonna be way off. Let's just be fair. We're gonna be way off. Yeah. It's gonna be a 2-1 game or something. Nobody's gonna have any point. As always, go Orange and go this weekend.
Go Orange.